Can you say Russian collusion hoax? Well, John Durham's report is finally in after 4 years, and he concludes the FBI lacked any actual evidence before launching the investigation and certainly didn't find any during the investigation. And CNN, what does fake news have to say now that the report's out? They're kind of quiet, but they are saying something. CNN's Jake Tapper says Durham report devastating to FBI, exonerates Trump to a degree. To a degree? Like all the degrees? Welcome back to the JP Reacts channel, my beautiful freedom-loving friend, where we like to call out the lies, hypocrisy, and corruption of tyrants. Russian collusion hoax certainly qualifies for that. Shine the light of awareness on woke absurdities and highlight the amazing work of other freedom fighters. Wow. The Russian collusion hoax was pushed hard, wasn't it? And it is now as factual as a fact can be. It was nothing other than lies, hypocrisy, and corruption from tyrants. The Durham report concludes the FBI had no evidence to justify launching an investigation, and upon investigating, spending countless tax dollars, taking up precious time, diverting the Americans' attention, troubling President Trump in his presidency, they found what's called zero evidence of him colluding with Russia. Wow. Why would they do that? Well, there's a reason why I wear a shirt like this. They're not after Trump. They're after you. He's just in the way. The FBI couldn't get him out of the way. So we're going to take a little rundown memory lane of what happened and what the Durham report says. And I think it's important to keep in mind how vocal the mainstream propaganda media was about the Russian collusion hoax, them coming from baseless claims, them exercising their favorite word, misinformation. So it'll be really interesting to watch how awkwardly silent they are. You know, if they were a 10 out of 10 on vocality, if they were earnest with their efforts, if they were honest, not everybody's right all the time. They happen to never be right all the time. But if they were honest, then they would come out with a 10 out of 10 intensity on what the report actually found, and they probably need to apologize. That's not going to happen. And at the end of the day, before we get into details, to me, the biggest take-home lesson on this is the FBI is incredibly corrupt. It has now become a weaponized wing of the leftist political party. So that's the biggest takeaway. We already had a lot of that evidence, but as the FBI fabricates a theory, goes after President Trump, trying to take down the political rival of the left in 2016, continued that year after year after year, and then still continues it. They raid President Trump at Mar-a-Lago, meanwhile absolutely ignoring actual evidence there that implicates there's Hunter Biden's laptop, FBI suppressed that. Didn't investigate it. There's, oh cool, Mar-a-Lago, you have some documents that you're legally allowed to have. We gotta come raid Mar-a-Lago. That'll look good on the news. Meanwhile, Biden's got tons of boxes of documents in his very secure location of his garage that he's not allowed to have. Don't investigate that. Don't worry, nothing to see here. We see you, FBI. We see what you're doing. And it's a little bit corrupt. So the quick rundown, I'm going to pull from Upward News, which I think is it's a beautiful site I like to go to. I get their daily email newsletters. They give great rundowns, concise, to the point, unbiased of what the hell's going on in the world. What the Durham report on the Trump-Russia hoax means for America. What's new? A 316-page report. Just a side note, how the hell long was the report? It seems like nobody knows. I've heard news reporting it was a 316-page report, 320 pages. Other people saying it's a 306-page report. Doesn't matter, but nonetheless. 316-page report by Special Counsel John Durham, 4 years in the making. The guy doesn't work very fast, apparently. He concluded that the FBI and intelligence agents lacked any actual evidence before they chose to investigate former President Trump and his allies for alleged collusion with Russia in the 2016 presidential election. So I identify as a lawyer, so let me tell you about the law. The FBI, or any law enforcement, FBI is not law enforcement anymore, they're leftist enforcement, but any investigative body, they need to have basically some degree of evidence to justify launching an investigation. You know, that is supposed to protect from people trying to take down their political rivals, like, oh, go investigate Trump. Why? Because we hope you'll find something when you investigate him that will justify this investigation and allow us to take him down. So they need actual evidence. And Durham's report said the FBI lacked any actual evidence. Politically motivated. As noted in the report, this extensive spying operation on Trump's campaign administration relied on baseless claims provided or funded by Trump's political opponents, including Hillary Clinton. Ever hear of her? Multiple officials involved in the investigation also expressed clear anti-Trump sentiment. Cool. Let's take down the guy we don't like. We don't like him. We're the FBI, so we're gonna take down the guy that we don't like. We didn't find anything. Is that a problem? It's a problem. Why it matters. The Russia collusion hoax was projected so strongly to the public that by December 2017, half of Americans believed it was true. It's very strong propaganda. That matters. This marked the beginning of an era in which the FBI intelligence communities increasingly use their influence to help sway elections by popularizing lies and concealing facts. Yeah, just in other words, why that matters. That is the FBI swaying the election. You know, you could say, well, no, I mean, the 2016 election where the hoax allegedly occurred, where, you know, Trump's getting elected because of Russia collusion, that was in the past. No. That's the FBI swaying the 2020 election, because this poll of half Americans believed the Russian hoax that's taken in December 2017. Just 2 years later, about 2 years later, we've got the 2020 election. So propaganda lodges it in people's minds. It is very accurate to deduce some people voting in the 2020 election had their vote swayed towards Biden because they had lodged in their mind, oh, Trump colluded with Russia. That's bad. That's illegal. Trump is bad. Let me go with Biden. That is the FBI's doing. They swayed that election. What else did the FBI sway? Well, let's look further into how they swayed the 2020 election. Ever hear of Hunter Biden's laptop? There was actual evidence, like the main evidence being the f***ing laptop. There's actual evidence. And the FBI chose not to investigate it. And not only did they not investigate it, they helped bury it. But upon investigating it, if they would have actually done what they're supposed to do, it would expose whatever was on Hunter's laptop. That would reflect poorly on one Joe Biden. And not to mention how Biden may have actually been implicated in wrongdoing, maybe even crimes, based on the content of the laptop. The FBI should have exposed that. They didn't, they concealed it. That is an act of swaying the election. How about the 2024 election coming up? They wouldn't be trying to sway that now, would they? No. I mean, they wouldn't sway elections, even though they do. So the FBI raiding Trump at Mar-a-Lago, obviously they found nothing. There's nothing substantial coming from that, but the optics of Trump got raided at Mar-a-Lago. If you're not doing 100% of your own thinking, you remember that. Just like you remember, oh, Trump-Russia collusion. I believe that. I remember that. So you look at, well, Trump's such a bad guy. The FBI had to raid his house in Mar-a-Lago. He had like illegal documents there. He's a bad guy. Well, he's probably a fascist, isn't he? Voters remember that going up to 2024. I mean, I can't stress that enough, because like you and I, we're used to what's called free thinking. We do it for ourselves. We don't outsource it. But so many people outsource their thinking to the news. Therefore, there's a blank spot in their brain where their own thoughts should be. Propaganda fits in that hole. It's a round peg going into a round hole. It unfortunately fits very well. So the FBI already swaying the 2024 election. Let's look more at the reality of this. Clicking over to the Daily Wire, there's an article entitled, "There's nothing to see, there's nothing to this, but we have to run it to the ground," anti-Trump FBI agent Strzok said. according to Durham. What's that mean? Days after opening a full FBI investigation into connections between Donald Trump and Russia, lead FBI investigator Peter Strzok told a subordinate that there's nothing to this, but we have to run it into the ground. That's kind of an incriminating thing that Durham discovered. This lead FBI investigator said, this Russian collusion hoax, there's nothing to this, but we have to run it into the ground. You actually didn't have to, bro. And then Trump responds to findings in special counsel John Durham's report on origins of Russia probe. What does Trump have to say? So President Trump, in response to Durham's report finally coming out, wow. After extensive research, special counsel John Durham concludes the FBI never should have launched the Trump-Russia probe. Trump wrote on social media. In other words, the American public was scammed, just as it is being scammed right now by those who don't want to see greatness in America. Trump later said in an interview that the Democrats had started a long-running and treasonous charade, and that there must be a heavy price to pay for putting our country through this. I agree. Like treason, I would absolutely consider this treason. I would absolutely consider everybody who was involved in propagating the Russian collusion hoax, Hillary Clinton, the FBI, specific people at the FBI, I would absolutely consider them to have committed crimes against America. That, in fact, is treason. They're trying to take down at the time, the sitting president who rightfully won the election. That is treason. Do I think anything will actually happen to them? I don't, unfortunately. Try getting the FBI to investigate the FBI for wrongdoing. Try getting the FBI to investigate Hillary Clinton for wrongdoing. Ain't gonna happen. Only way I can possibly imagine any justice coming from this in the legal system is if Trump gets back in office in 2024 and he has either a special counsel or maybe he dismantles the FBI and some other investigative body who's actually seeking truth and justice looks into this and brings appropriate charges against the inappropriate people. So, but as it stands right now, obviously no justice will be served. So the Durham report is in. Trump is innocent. He did no colluding with Russia. We have it as factual as facts could possibly be. And by the way, I would guess a lot of people, the propaganda is so strong, they could be looking at this news right in the face. Oh, Durham report, conclusion, there's no actual evidence and Trump did nothing wrong. They could look at this in the face and be like, I still think he did something. That's how strong propaganda is. And I'm sure there's plenty of people also who are like, dude, yeah, I got tricked. Dude, I'm an idiot. I fell for the propaganda. Hopefully I'll do more of my own thinking next time. But nonetheless, as important as it is that the truth is irrefutably out, I think the truth has been out for a while, but the Durham report certainly considers or carries a extra weight of importance here with the truth. There's no question this whole thing has been damaging to our country. It's damaged people's minds. It's damaged President Trump. It's damaged our country. So I hope in one way or another, justice is served. I don't think it'll be anytime soon, but it's been a crime against America. I am a fan of America. Therefore, I don't like crimes against America. And the people committing crimes against America, even if they're Americans, and dare I say, especially if they're Americans, they need to be held accountable for their treason. But that's just me and the way I think. Let me know what you think about this whole topic in the comment section below. I look forward to hearing your thoughts. And before we go, I want to give a shout out to Joy Mode for making this channel possible. Whether you're happy or unhappy with your performance in the bedroom, why not make it better? Well, Joy Mode is here to save the day. It's an all-natural sexual performance booster for men. Now, boosting your sexual performance is easier said than done. Maybe you've been to a gas station and seen all those sketchy performance pills, and looked at the ingredients and realized this is just a toxic collaboration of garbage. And maybe you don't want to mess with the pharmaceutical route where you've got an erection, like it or not, for 4 hours and potentially nasty side effects. Luckily, Joy Mode provides an all-natural male enhancement supplement that doesn't require a prescription or any side effects. This sexual performance booster is designed to enhance erection quality, firmness, and sex drive. Feel kind of goofy saying it, but it's true. You just simply mix up a packet 45 minutes to 4 hours before you want to perform, and you'll enjoy the benefits. It's like pre-workout, but for sex. If you, my friend, want to spice things up and boost your sexual performance in the bedroom and do it all naturally without a nasty prescription, then just go to usejoymode.com/JP. And while you're there, use the code JP for 20% off your first order. Thank you, Joy Mode. It makes me happy.